Hey there, welcome to this video today where I want to be able to express to you in clarity what an ad talk is. Hashtag ad talk or an awareness documentation is going to be your way of being able to clear your mental space. Release what it is that you're holding on to. Just let go. Accept and love yourself by creating a meditation practice, visualization / hypnosis / talk therapy that's going to help you be everything that you actually are. And it's going to be one of the most beautiful things you can ever do, because you also get to be able to connect with everyone else by sharing your story and documenting the process and your progress. So, what I did for 2.5 years to become who I am, and believe me, it didn't take the entire 2.5 years, but it took 2.5 years of healing to heal up everything that was stopping me and giving me limited beliefs, traumas that would come up, and because I experienced something in the past and I was holding on to it, I hadn't let go yet, it would come up and I would have an emotional discharge that just blows up on me and stops me from doing everything. So that emotional implosion means that needs to be resolved. You need to release those blocked charges that are stored in your body. So that's kind of what we're doing here, is we're gathering the awareness of being able to figure out what's stopping us, releasing that, and discovering what is keeping us going in a forward direction. So literally what the awareness documentation is going to do for you is help you understand that the two most important words in the English language are I am, which you can think of as identification, awareness, and modification. So this is literally what I did. I took the identification of the problem that I was experiencing and unpacked it so that I could then harness and garner the awareness of that problem. It may have been something bad that was painful. So I said, hey, why am I thinking this way? And how can I improve upon that? Right? So I switched my negative mentality into a positive one and started to slowly develop optimism, in which case I set goals and intentions for myself to be able to follow through by following through with the modification. So once again, identification, awareness, and modification is I am. So any words that follow those two words are the most powerful in the English language. I am great. I am lovable. I am worthy. Right? So here's the thing. You get to be whoever you are. And when you start to be able to become somebody, right, and you want to be known, you transcend that and you become somebody who's actually worth knowing, because right now you don't actually know, or you're a little further along. You are going to be going through a process of progress. And what this awareness documentation does is it fast forwards that entire process in your progress. You see, so I can 10x your results, I can 100 times your results, but the thing is, it doesn't work unless if you actually do it. So I am going to show you a 10-minute explanation of what an awareness documentation is by showing you my past explanation of it, which is probably the most accurate that you can get. And then what I'm going to do is explain a process of being able to connect with any and everybody through this, while also healing yourself by your truly expressing yourself to be understood method or process that you are going to be going through each and every time you do an awareness documentation. Okay? So, check it out. What I call this is an awareness documentation, or an ad talk. In this sense, I am speaking directly through my self-awareness and asking questions
that relate to my why, maybe my how or my what, to help draw out the personal projection that I am to be to live in authenticity. So through this, it creates an effect of being able to get a deeper look into myself and my soul, and in turn, it helps me understand myself, so it gives you a good view of who I am, my personality, my story, my integrity. It helps me reflect and learn and get past certain boundaries that I'm experiencing, while also creating an amazing piece of content that helps you better understand my story and my progression and what I'm doing to get past these next level obstacles, and also what you can see and expect in the future. And in turn, everything that I progressed through at this point, I can then recall and say, hey, you know what? I wasn't too right here. But what I have discovered here is this. And it's the next level element of what I was thinking of here. So if I ever go back and watch these videos, it's a documented process of where I was and where I am. Fantastic, so phenomenal, so exciting. Awareness documentation. And then I take my self-awareness and apply that to the rest of the world. Wow, I think that is awesome. And I'm talking in kind of a sarcastic manner, but I'm being truthful. It's called an Adtalk, okay? And this is what I would love to see be a revolutionary change to the world. For people to do Adtalks and have the freedom of self-expression. Would that happen? Gee, I couldn't say it could. Would it? Will it? May it? Sure. If I could model for the rest of the world and live as that example in my own integrity, be that leadership figure for somebody else to do something like this, that would be phenomenal. But first, I have to do it myself and consistently do it and not care about what other people think, because I've spent plenty of time caring about other people's expectations or not living for my own, and it killed me on the inside. So that's why my social awareness should be geared toward being in line with my own authenticity and my own purpose. Other people structure themselves with limitations and try and press them upon me, and you gotta remember the reason why they do that is because they're hurting inside from somewhere around that relatability. So don't always let people limit you, folks. Be unlimited in your own authenticity. Please. So, we all start from somewhere. I'm starting from where, and where I want to be so magnificent that if you continue along this journey, you get to see the recall. You get to see the learning curve that I have encompassed in this journey, starting from nothing, becoming something. But now that I can do something with my life, I'm doing the exact opposite. And I'm blaming it on these problems, like problems with my body and all mentality things and people around me. I mean, come on, dude. If you really want to do these things, then don't sit yourself in this crowd of losers, because that's what they are, lesser people. Don't sit in front of a screen and switch off a controller or watch a movie or do drugs or something ridiculous that lessens you and your potential. You have so much you can do with your life. All of you, anybody, you are what's most important. And for you to sit in front of a screen and do nothing and be unproductive and not do anything with your life, are you kidding me? Why would you do that to yourself? Why would you do that? That's making yourself suffer and become nothing until you're dust and you can't produce. And who knows? Who knows? You have no story to tell because you are nobody. That's a very, very, very sad life, and only a privilege for us Americans, because we have people fight for us, fight for our freedom, and we don't even understand what it is to be free. Live your life. I've cared enough about what I think and what I want and what I want to do, but I haven't taken the massive step to leap, to have a clean, clear balance of not giving a crap what people think, to be able to know that I care about myself enough not to hear all their shit answers, but enough to know that stepping into this place of caring about what other people think, that I care immensely enough for what they think to be able to answer all their questions and resolve all the thoughts that they may have about me. So it's really retaining balance, guys. And being in the middle of all of that is how you will win. I learned that your people's respect and loyalty, when you allow them to see you up close and dirty, and that's just the place where I want to be, where I want to be so transparent. You guys know who I am, you know what I'm about, you know the struggles that I have to go through to be able to get to where I want to be. And when you look back, there's no such thing as an overnight success. You get to see what is documented in that process, to see what I have had to live through, to be able to make that next step to becoming who you see a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, Michael Earth Osada.
Yo, what is up, guys? It's Michael Earth Osada, and we are here today to be able to bring you another awareness documentation. It is Saturday the 19th at 7:21 p.m. and I'm here to bring my energy, bring my fear, bring my doubts, bring my conclusions that I'm going to be making in this time, and this will be a huge recall for when I come back in the future to be able to find some of the answers that were true, were not true, some of the things that I will do and bring back to you. This is awareness documentation. Brah. So, you know, I'm not just a one-sided coin here. I happen to be a person just like you, with different perspectives and abilities and skills just like you, and I want to express those skills and create an art form out of it. You want to join me in that? You can do it too. I will let you know that, okay? So, in this whole expansive sense, we are here hand in hand to be able to do this together. If you want to join me in creating this awareness within yourself, then you're gonna have to bring out that element in your health to be transparent, to be empathetic, to care enough about what other people think, but also not enough to care. So you can express yourself freely like this and understand that through your experiences, through your knowledge, through what you are able to obtain by doing this, you may be able to impact lives too. And that's what drives me through to being able to do this. I hope you understand the importance of learning and sharing it with others and making it as documentable as possible so you can scale and do it across the world and build community. Community is so important. And if I can be able to emphasize anything that we are here on this earth to do, it is about building a community that collaborates, that is united, deploying empathy and building something based on love so that we can be able to generate relationships with people across the world. And if you know how important social media, how important the internet is in gathering all of that information and that perspective to be able to do that, you are so far ahead of the rest of the world as long as you take that knowledge and you use it. You create action. That's how you win. Action. Knowledge is nothing without execution. You want to have knowledge in your brain and jumbo mumbo gumbo volcano erupto? No. You want to create an island, right? So let's solidify down so that we can move up in this world and obtain creation. That felt pretty good.
Knowledge is a burden. Knowledge isn't amazing. It doesn't help give you clarity. It only does that when you go through the knowledge to help you comprehend and you execute so that you don't reach a dead end. You reach a dead end when you learn something and you don't apply it. You understand where I'm coming from.
From all of the previous experiences that I've been able to encounter, everything I've been able to gather, which is a load. I did awareness documentations, I did interviews, I did journals, I did so many different things that I could use to reflect. The problem for me is, I strive in the why. So because I have such a strong why and I've really built that massive foundation, the how is now what's critical. I spent a whole year working on the why, maybe half a year, 8 months, whatever. I started my whole personal development journey back in August. Okay, so that's when I started the whole network marketing thing, and that was very short, and then I moved into being able to help with online branding and digital marketing. So in the position that I'm at right now, I can just imagine wiping everything clean off the earth of everything I've been able to do in the past year and just be like, you know, how much did I really learn? How much did I really progress? What did I gather that was actually useful from my own self-progression? I learned a lot about my self-awareness. And I'd have to say that self-awareness is massively key if you're going to grow and do something that you love and be happy doing something that you love. Open yourself up to new ideas, new options in life. The only way you can do that is by gathering new experiences, always doing new things. The tricky part is you have to stay consistent and persistent in your dedications so that you can make that ambition work for you. And that means you have to work. And you have to work hard. That's the hard part. So if you don't gain the momentum, you will never move up.
Okay, so what I want to be able to share with you is the problem, pain, hope, solution that you will be expressing throughout each time you do an awareness documentation. You can think of this as any way that you can connect with another human being so that you can be able to attach some sort of resonation in the story that they have and connect and bring them in. Because here's the thing, when you identify your problem that you're experiencing, it then in turn says, hey, you know, I'm going through that too. Now what's this about? And it opens them up. But to really be able to open them up, you have to say problem, pain. And the pain of that is going to be what you're going to unpack. You're going to release that. You're going to let go. You're going to unveil the things that you've put in front of you, the barriers that are stopping you. You're going to say, hey, I'm going through this pain and it is real. I'm in acceptance of it. This is something that I'm experiencing, and by unpacking that, you start to feel clearer and better, right? So this whole healing process is acknowledging, accepting, understanding your pain, and then it leads into the hope, problem, pain, hope, in which case you share the gratitude of what it is that you're going through, what this pain is trying to teach you, right? Maybe if I headed in a different direction, you know, then things would start to unravel for me that would allow me the opportunity to move into positivity, right? Another positive explanation of what it is that you're undergoing. So that hope from the problem, pain, hope leads into that solution. That is literally where you make the connection, because the hope in your story that you are trying to connect that pain to and what it's trying to teach you then unravels into being able to link everything together by making a connection all the way across the board where you are providing a solution for yourself. And this is when you start to hold yourself accountable and responsible for whatever commitment you come up with at the end of the video, or by reviewing the video and then taking that information and then writing about it, once again stating the problem, pain, hope, solution, 4 paragraphs, 4 sentences, however you want to do it. It should be elaborate enough to the point where other people can understand what your video is going to be about by simply reading the text, and it should be enough to understand what it is that you need to work on, because problem, pain, hope, solution helps you identify what truth will be for you, in which case truth is going to be an action, reaction, result, new problem. So in order to be able to get to the new problem from an action, reaction, result, new problem, you're going to have to take a new experience into account, which is the commitment or the solution that you had over here, right? So problem, pain, hope, solution allows you to take action on a new experience. It allows you to get a reaction, which you can open yourself up to the awareness of, and then it allows you to get a result. So action, reaction, result. That new result that you experience, you also expand upon the awareness. How did it make me feel? Positive? Worse? And then by moving into the next section, you're also going to be able to get a new solution, which is what leads you back to a new problem that you have to take an action, reaction, result, new problem with that solution. Does that make sense? So truth, once again I'll define it, is an action, reaction, result, new problem. What you're going to be expressing is a problem, pain, hope, solution. And it's all tied together. So when you do this, and you do it on any of your posts, any of your social media, speaking face-to-face with somebody, you're going to be able to be connecting with other people, and you're literally going to verbally verse this with your awareness documentation. What's very important to understand is that I did this for 9 months in a row in 2018, and I guess a little bit beyond, and I could have done it only 3 months and learned everything I needed to know about my role, why I'm here, what I'm here to do, especially who I am, okay? So if I would have followed through with the entire assignment, then I would have gotten all the benefits. But I only did one part. I made the awareness documentation, but here's the thing. An Adtalk has 3 parts that you have to fulfill. The most important being reviewing and playing back the information that you then unpacked during the Adtalk. Because what that does is it helps keep you in check with yourself. You may have said this thing, but you don't know what it actually means until you watch yourself express it. Meaning, step 1 is making the Adtalk, right? Recording the video. Step 2 is playing it back. Okay? And when you play it back to yourself, you get to then pay attention to the body language. You get to pay attention to the tone that you are instating or speaking into so that you can express outward. And you're also stating what is going to be the connection to step number 3. In which case, if you're going to review it and watch yourself play it back, you also have to understand the language that you're sharing. Because the language that you're sharing could very much be contradictory to whatever it is that you're actually experiencing or feeling at that time. So if you're expressing yourself and you're trying to connect to yourself internally then externally, what that is doing is by playing yourself back on film, you're understanding what it is that caused you to have certain traumas or experiences or what would make you think this way that you do. Because you're paying attention to the body language, to the tone of your voice, and also to the language that you are then saying, which may be limiting you in your beliefs, and you can catch those limitations because some things are taught, other things are caught. You really need to catch that and grasp it and turn it into your reality. So by paying attention to what it is that you're experiencing, you then open yourself up to the awareness of what is limiting you, a past experience that caused you to have trauma that stops you. Therefore, you throw up certain barriers and don't allow yourself to fully, deeply, truly express yourself so you can be understood. And that healing expression so that you can truly express yourself so you can be understood is what is important in the awareness documentation. Because you have to understand yourself. Then other people can start to understand you and relate to you, right? So as you continuously go through the problem, pain, hope, solution that you are trying to unravel, you're going to continue taking actions and getting reactions and results and new problems, therefore getting to the next truth. But remember, through this whole process, you're trying to connect to the truth of what is that I'm sharing through sharing bits of my story so that you can connect your soul to mine and then therefore no longer disassociate your identity from me, but connect your soul and unite it to my role and learn from those experiences as a collective so that you can then think like me, be like me, know like me, and operate like me. Only you're going to be doing you and following your own process and your own truth by opening up to your own creativity and your own unique solutions. My solutions just happen to apply to me, and everything that I do is about connecting with people, because everything I do, I love people. So this applies to everybody, right? But maybe not necessarily the examples or the options you will take as for how you can be able to connect with them. So once again, it's going to be very important that you do the 3 parts. The third part would actually be writing it down. Writing down the problem, pain, hope, solution by doing the video playback, watching it, your film, and then writing it for others to be able to enjoy. Because what you're going to do is you're going to post that content online. You're going to post it so somebody else can see it, so that you're not lying to yourself in your own commitment, your own beliefs. You're allowing other people to know you. That transparency is what is able to remove the limitations of who you believe you actually are, so that you can become and be free with everybody. And that nakedness, literally, I will term it as being naked in front of everyone's eyes, is what allows you to have the innocence and allows you to expose yourself to your inner child, the person that you actually are inside, because you remove the barriers that you put up so that you can become this adult who conforms to this box-shaped norm, who has to be able to put up with how society may view them, and also has to confine to their type of lifestyle. And what you're going to be doing is understanding that your expression of yourself is so unique and so connected to everybody else's unique expression of themselves, that when you're your highest, truest expression of yourself, everything is going to be open to possibilities. And the limitations that other people are experiencing are simply because they don't know the ideas that you have, the free mind that you have. They're limited in their beliefs. And you're going to be unlimited and unreasonable in the ways that you believe, because you're going to know who you are, why you're here, and what you're here to do. And you're going to make all your decisions based on that, because you're going to also be self-aware. And self-awareness at its finest is accepting your shortcomings while also accentuating upon your strengths and making your decisions based on the openings in between. Now that's a lot of information for you. So let me just remind you what an awareness documentation is. It is you literally going along the entire timeline, trying to internally speak to yourself, internally speaking to yourself, from yourself, for yourself, self-awareness, so that you can go along the timeline of getting to how can I connect to the awareness of the rest of the world, the collective that I'm trying to speak to, and use my talents, gifts, abilities, everything that I'm learning for. How can I use this to benefit somebody else, so that you move into a place of service, and that whole service of doing the awareness documentation ends up benefiting somebody else, right? So your focus zone is about doing you, living in your truth, all while loving the process with other people, right? So you're true to yourself and everyone else, all while loving the process. So that whole timeline is about tuning into your own self-awareness so that you can connect to the awareness of the rest of the world. And that requires transparency. That's why you have to post this online. So the first part is making the actual awareness documentation, in which case you're going to be going through the problem, the pain, the hope, the solution, which unveils you to the next truth that you will unfold by getting the legit, the real key, its true form, to unlock the gate, way of truth, in which case you will walk through into the next knowledge-filled room, And once knowledge is learned, it can't be negated unless an external force has created an imposed form of smitten education. Right? Right? Or if you've changed your internal contemplation, right? By something that was hidden from the wisdom that you now have. So problem, pain, hope, solution is what you're going to verbally be expressing. So you can create a new action, reaction, result, new problem by opening that next gateway of truth. So you can get to the next truth, and you're going to keep following this process so that you open all the gateways of truth that you need to understand who you are, why you're here, and what you're here to do. Right? So you become the highest, truest expression of yourself. And this whole process, once again, is going to be based on your own commitment to follow through with the other two steps, which is based on you watching and playing back your film so you can catch your body language, the tone that you're expressing in, and the actual language that you're speaking, because it can be completely reverse of what you want for yourself. And this is all about getting what you want. It's not about how you feel in particular, because your feelings, if you keep talking to yourself, you're going to talk yourself out of doing things, and you're going to focus on the negative. You're only going to speak on the problems, and you're not going to speak toward the solution. That's why it's problem, pain, hope, solution, action, reaction, result, new problem. Okay, I'm going to talk about this, open myself up to the awareness of it by connecting to my internal self-awareness, speaking from, to, for it, and connecting to the awareness of the rest of the world so that I can be in service. And in so doing, by watching all of that and paying attention to my body language, my tone, and the actual language that I'm saying, I'm going to be able to learn and grow and reflect and be transparent with everybody else, be my highest, truest expression of myself, and connect with the world in complete, whole and complete authenticity, lacking in nothing. That's what an awareness documentation does for you, if you actually do all parts of it. And then when you follow through with your own commitment to your own goal that you set at the end, that you define by writing the review of your played back film, you follow through with that and you do it again the next day. This is a daily assignment. That's what makes it exciting, because you have a daily, consistent, disciplined form of action that you are doing to heal and recover and also progress onto the next step to live a purpose-driven life. So this is what I have for you. And I definitely look forward to being able to review some of your ad talks, your awareness documentations, and having others review them for you. Because each time you do an awareness documentation, guess what? You get one more question that you get to be able to ask somebody above you, so you can adjust what it is that you're doing. Because you're going to be learning at a rapid rate, but you're also going to have someone else who has gone through the experience similar to what you've gone through to learn that truth, teaching you, because they're above you. Because agreement number 4 of the 4 agreements is, in acceptance of this training, I will also train someone else, right? So every time you do another awareness documentation, as of right now, the idea/rule is you get one more question you get to ask. Every time you fully understand what the truth is by participating and experiencing what it is that you're doing to be able to learn that truth, then you get one more question to ask. So I would do as many ad talks a day as you possibly can to better understand yourself. Okay? And there's no limitation to how long they can be, just as long as you truly express yourself so you can be understood. If it's super short, you're bullshitting. Don't do that. Okay? Keep it long enough so that you sustain your growth. Follow through with this process. You get one more question per each ad talk. You get one more question per each key so that you can understand from somebody else above you how this whole process works. And as you collect these questions, you're going to want to use them. I recommend continuously growing and improving by asking those questions from your ad talks and holding on to the ones for the keys so that you can use that question to get to the next key, because somebody else is going to give you a hint or a straight up blunt answer or a question to ask you, what do you understand about this, which may even be answered in the video. But until you form it into your integrity by who you actually be, by being the main character of your own life and understanding the experience that is a culmination of all that we have created, learning from history, you're not going to progress. Okay, so learn from my experiences, learn from my story, learn from somebody else's experiences and their story, and acquire the truth that you experience. Because truth is relative, my friend. Truth is not the same for everybody. So your answer may not be the same as the one that I explain. It may be different. They're just defined as best as I can explain each gateway of truth so that you can get the true form of the key to unlock it and move on to the next filled room so that you can clear the floor and level up in your awareness. Because we're playing one big game of gaining perspective. So, I'm pulling for you, alright? Get to the top with me here, because we're doing this for the world, and all of humanity as a whole needs to understand each other's roles. But first, before doing that, we need to unite souls. Alright? I look forward to hearing about your developed story, because it's going to be on a whole nother level once you get through this. We get through this together.